Hello and welcome to this last devlog. As I said, last devlog, we are very close to launching Flux, so not assets anymore. I think this is the first devlog since we've rebranded to Flux, right? So yeah, rebranded to Flux, added some little gamification. As you can see, these little icons, Flux generators have been brought into life. Previously, taking out a loan, you just received a loan receipt NFT. Now, the thing that you receive or the thing that you create is a Flux generator. Stability pools were called stability pools, and they are now called Flux reservoirs. Just a little bit of gamification. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say to you guys on this devlog. Which is a tiny bit late, so I have to excuse myself for that. Wanted to do it a bit sooner, but didn't quite manage to, but you'll have to forgive me. Second thing I want to show in this devlog is the new earn page. So as you can see, nice little icon, right? There's a new category here called Liquidity Provision. So why is it there? First, to explain to you, probably a good idea is where does the money you can earn on this page come from? So Flux, the protocol, makes money by charging interest to borrowers. And this interest is fairly distributed over participants in the ecosystem or in the protocol. 65% goes to stability pool depositors, so now called Flux reservoir depositors. This creates a little bit of a savings account. You can deposit your FUSD and make money, or earn yield. And it also, as a bonus, protects the system or the protocol because these FUSD tokens are used to liquidate under collateralized positions in a profitable way. So don't worry, depositing into a Flux reservoir will not just use up your capital. So that's the first category. Now there's also a second category, namely liquidity provision. 25% right now of all interest earned or made goes toward liquidity provision. So we use the FUSD to reward people that provide FUSD liquidity on certain incentivized DEX pools. Which DEX pools exactly we still have to think about, but I added 4 example DEX pools here. All maths related to this APR. On these APRs is already done, so basically everything is done. Just need to plug in a pool, use the placeholder value for the amount of liquidity provided to these pools now. But this is all done. Just have to plug in the pools. So maybe to explain in detail, if you provide liquidity to such a incentivized pool, then part of the interest made by the protocol is airdropped to you to reward you for making the FUSD ecosystem better by providing liquidity. Currently, the plan is to launch and do this in a centralized manner, not really centralized because you could via the DAO revoke my permission of doing these airdrops and give this permission to someone else. But I will be the one to airdrop FUSD to liquidity providers weekly. So very similar to how the incentives work now. But I don't think this is a huge problem. And thinking about how DEXs and their pools work right now, it's pretty difficult to automate this. Though maybe not impossible, but it would detract from the UX. So it's better to do it this way for now. First question to you guys also. I always like to have questions. First question is, which pools do you guys want to incentivize? I'm currently thinking, so I added 4 here, but there will not be 4 because FUSD, XUSDC on Aussie Swap is not possible, for instance. But I'm currently thinking FUSD, XUSDC on Caviar 9, and that mainly like a big chunk of the entire rewards of the 25% basically, because this is by far the most important. And then maybe a little bit towards FUSD, XRD, and then probably a basic pool, so not even concentrated liquidity, but depends on what you guys think. At the moment, I did a 2/3 split to XUSDC and 1/3 to XRD, but maybe want even more to XUSDC. FUSD XRD is possible, but it requires some active participation. So yeah, that's it. Next thing, so remember those 2 categories we reward, or the interest is distributed to, liquidity provision and flux reservoirs. There's a 3rd category. If you were paying attention, you already noticed that 65 plus 25 is 90, and this is not 100%. So we still have 10% left. And that goes towards buying back ILIS. So these exact distributions can also still be changed, but so the 10% could be 15, but it goes towards buying back ILIS. I made a very small widget to buy back ILIS. It's over here. It's usually not something that you want to use while using the app, so I try to hide it a bit, but it's still useful for people to be able to see that it is actually possible to use their ILIS to buy back FUSD. So currently 12 cents of interest has been earned. This is not a lot, of course. However, you can see you can burn 1,000 ILIS. That corresponds to $4.45, and then you can get 12 cents of FUSD, and then you see your profit here, which is negative at the moment. But let's just show you what happens if you do it. You get a nice transaction overview, and it says you're transacting 1,000 ILIS for the FUSD. Well, let's sign it. Not sure if I've signed this already. Yeah, I think I signed this before. Yeah, and it even updates. Oh, I'm such a good developer. Yeah, so that works. Let's think, what else do I want to tell you? Oh yeah. So previously I've told you about the concept of a privileged borrower, which is somebody that we want to be able to opt out of redemptions because they need predictability. So redemptions add some unpredictability, of course. Your position can just change because someone else redeems you. I will not explain in detail here what redemptions are, because most people probably already know. But if you want to know, read the documentation. You can find the documentation here. So what I said, some people want predictability, and we want them to be able to use the protocol. So I think institutions, whales, maybe Radix Foundation, people we think add value but don't use the protocol because it's not predictable enough. We want them to be able to opt out of redemptions. So currently you have to choose a interest rate here, but we can give certain people privileged borrower NFTs with which they can opt out of redemption. So I've built this, and I've also built it into the front end. So we can select a wallet that has such an NFT, and I have it in OZ's test, coincidentally. So let's select this wallet. And you can see a toggle appear here. and asks me, do you want to opt out of redemption? I can click it, and it will tell me that I will use the lowest interest rate in the protocol. So that's basically what it does, exactly what it says. If you opt out of redemptions, you cannot be redeemed, but you will automatically use the lowest interest rate in the protocol. So if there's 10 loans and all of these loans have a 20% interest rate and one has a 15% interest rate, then this loan will also make use of the 15% interest rate. And then once the 15% interest rate is closed, then the interest rate of this new loan will increase to 20%, such that it always matches the lowest interest rate in the protocol. So let's just open such a loan for the fun of it. How much do we want? Let's say 250. Oh yeah, wait. Another thing I added are these little buttons to select a preset loan to value ratio. So green is 30%, orange 40, and red 55. I think it's pretty neat. Just a quality of life feature. But yeah, it's nice. Some people also suggested a slider with loan to value ratio. We had something similar on the step protocol front end. I will think about it because I think it's a nice idea, but I will probably not implement it before launch. I want to focus on launching now because it's very close. But it's a good idea and I have heard it, so I just want to say I acknowledge the suggestion. But let's open such a loan that is opted out of redemptions. Okay, already coming through to the wallet. That seems all right. So let's sign it. And signed. So now we can see I now have a loan, which also says no redemption risk because we cannot be redeemed. And if we change the interest rate, if we try to change the interest rate, it will tell you that we have opted out of redemptions. And we can also opt into redemptions again by deselecting the toggle or detoggling the toggle. Yeah, so that's nice. Let's go back to our other wallet. Yeah, another thing I want to show you is panic mode, which is another feature I added. Imagine there is not enough FUSD available in the reservoirs. So currently there is around 50 available in the reservoirs to liquidate a position that needs to be liquidated. Then you kind of have a problem, right? So if there's no liquidity or FUSD, you cannot liquidate. So how do we go about that? How do we fix this? Is we introduce a panic mode. What this panic mode does is that you can try to initiate the panic mode if this is indeed the case. There is not enough liquidity or FUSD available to liquidate, and it will start a little countdown timer, currently set to 3 minutes, but it will be set to way more. And then if after 3 minutes there is still not enough FUSD available, then panic mode will be entered. Once panic mode is entered, you can mint FUSD 1-to-1 against another stablecoin. So let's say, another stablecoin being a stablecoin that we have designated as the stablecoin we want to use for the system. At the start, this will be XUSDC. So a big part of Flux is that we want to be we don't want to rely on centralized stablecoins such as XUSDC, but we do rely on it for this panic mode system. But this panic mode system should never occur. So just want to say that. However, I don't know where I went with my explanation. Sorry, this is such a crazy explanation today. Not really feeling it, huh? But you can mint FUSD during panic mode 1-to-1 against 1 XUSDC. So put in 1 XUSDC into the protocol and get out 1 FUSD. You can only do this if you use the minted FUSD to liquidate a position that was otherwise not liquidatable because there was not enough FUSD available. So this is something I built, this panic mode, and I can now show it to you. Yeah, let me show. So first we need to enter panic mode. Currently there are no loans that are eligible to liquidate. So let's change this. This one is closed. So if we change the parameters of this collateral type to setting a different LTV, then it will become eligible for liquidation. So just bear with me, that's what I'm doing here. But it's not very important. I need to get some Oracle data to actually liquidate this. So we are now, what I'm now showing you is we are trying to enter panic mode because we want to liquidate this loan, and there is only, do we see that here? Yeah, there is only $50.17 of FUSD available in the Flux reservoir, so we cannot liquidate this. So we want to liquidate it using XUSDC. First, we need to initiate panic mode. Can do that now. Transaction goes through. That means that indeed I can initiate panic mode, so that's a good thing. And now we have to wait 3 minutes, I think, before we can initiate panic mode for real, because that's what I set it to. To do that, we need to call the initiate panic mode, check in initiate panic mode method again. So let's put in this data. And if we would call this method now, it would say you cannot really call it because time's not yet over. So not yet, 3 minutes have passed. So let's see that. Yeah, transaction fails. Wait period that's not yet ended. So that's good. What time is it? Yeah, so let's wait for 2 more minutes, I think, and then we should be able to enter this. Alright, so I'm pretty sure the 3 minutes are over now. And now we can call this method and actually initiate panic mode. Let's do that. We have initiated panic mode here if we sign this transaction. Yeah, signed. Well, at least trying to sign. Yeah, signed. So now panic mode has been initiated. Sorry for all the instructor thingies. It's probably not very readable for non-devs, but gotta bear with me, I'm sorry. So now we can actually liquidate this loan using XUSDC. So let's see, is it still there? Yeah, loan's still here, you see. Yeah. Loan's still there. Okay, yeah, that's why I refreshed. I need to get another Oracle message. Okay. So now we can call this manifest and actually try to liquidate this thing. So you can see we take out 300 XUSDC and we liquidate this thing. We get back the LSULP to be rewarded for it. And this is basically always viable if the XUSDC is trading at peg, so that's good. All right, let's sign this. So what you should see happen now is that this gets liquidated. It is signed. Yeah, all right, so liquidated. All went according to plan. However, something that you would keep in mind now, or that you might say is, well, now the protocol is reliant on XUSDC, which is a centralized collateral. We don't want that. And then I would say, yeah, that's a very good observation. I don't want that either. So to ensure that XUSDC is basically worked out of the protocol as soon as possible, any redemptions that you do right now will result in you getting back XUSDC for your FUSD. So I can show this, which is probably a good idea. If we now go to the redeem part of the website, let's close this little console, and we redeem, let's say, 100 FUSD. We will get back 100 XUSDC. Normally that would be a mix of collaterals. This redemption fee is not correct in the case of XUSDC. However, normally it is. All right. This was, I think, 150, right? So let's try to redeem 160. Yeah, now you'll see that we get back 150, and we'll also get back a little bit of the other collaterals. So let's do that. All right. I think it's signed. Yeah. So that's how redemptions work, and how redemptions work when there is still XUSDC in the protocol. And this way we try to get it out as quickly as possible. Panic mode also is uninitiated or disengaged when it has not been used for, well, I think now it's set to 3 minutes, but it would be the same amount of waiting period. So it would be maybe, let's say normally we would set it to a day or so. It would disengage after a day of non-use, and you can only use it when there is not enough FUSD in the stability pool or the Flux reservoirs. Something else that I wanted to show you is this redemption fee that's now calculated correctly. So this fee, it increases when you redeem a whole lot. So redeeming is more expensive when you redeem a whole lot, and the fee is set according to the amount of debt that the protocol has. So if the protocol would have a lot of debt, outstanding debt, then this fee wouldn't be increasing so quickly, but 44 is a huge chunk of the debt that's currently outstanding. So you see the fee rising very quickly here, but as you can see, you see fee changing when I change the amount of FUSD I want to redeem. Why is there such a fee? And also maybe to add, minimum fee is 0.5%, maximum fee is 5%, which is why you see it going to 5% if I input the whole lot. Why is there such a fee? It's there, why is there such a variable fee? It's there to disincentivize huge redemptions. So this fee goes down over time again. So it's now 2.9%, but it will go down in about a day to maybe 1% or so. So it's there to disincentivize huge redemptions in one go. because one, it's not nice for the users of the protocol, and two, sometimes when, for instance, XUSDC depegs and FUSD is paired against XUSDC, it can become profitable to do redemptions at a low redemption fee by basically draining all liquidity in the XUSDC FUSD pair. We've seen it happen with Stab already. This is might sound a bit niche, but and it's also okay if you don't understand this exactly, but I promise you it can actually happen. So this is actually a very nice thing. And I think, yeah, it's a good thing. Something else, probably one of the last things I want to show you, because I've been talking for way too long here. Something else I want to show you is that indeed this loan has not been redeemed against. So we opted out with this loan, right? And we can see here, this used to be 50,000, and that has been redeemed against this LSU LP flux generator. What I can also show you is that indeed this loan will be redeemed against once all other loans are out of the protocol. So if we redeem enough here, then we will start redeeming against this loan. So I will show you. We don't have a lot left, I see. We have some here. Let's redeem 200 FUSD. And you can see that we get back quite a lot of LSULP. And I now hope, is this actually enough? Yeah, okay, well, I couldn't do the math quickly enough in my head, but apparently it's enough. You can see that this loan has been liquidated or has been redeemed against, but last because this loan has been completely redeemed. So these opted out of redemptions loans, they are also being redeemed against when there are no other loans left to redeem against, but this should probably never happen. It's a bit stranger if this would occur. Okay. All right, so that was it. Hope you guys understood everything I've been rambling about today. Today was really a bit of a ramble session. I'm sorry I didn't completely prepare, but I think at least you've seen that I'm actually doing stuff. Any questions? Because I imagine there are some if you've managed to watch all this time. I always welcome in the Telegram or any other way you are able to contact me. Not sure if there's many other ways you can. Maybe on Twitter. But yeah, that's it. Close to launch. I really hope to have the proposal out before the end of the month. So that will be relatively quickly. So let's see if I'm going to be able to manage. Thanks for watching and get involved. Bye bye.